Hello everyone, I hope you did well in the exam and you gained some value from the information we discussed over the last four chapters. I hope you still remember the key point we covered in these four chapters. First, how to create the database, how to collect the data from either original document or turnaround document, how to process the information and then do some reports. And I hope you still remember the different documentation we use it, either the flowchart or business process diagram or data flow diagram. And over the coming weeks, we will discuss another issue in the database, which is how to do auditing or controlling the database. And we will start today a new topic about auditing, which is how we handle the computer fraud and the abuse techniques. First of all, how do we define a fraud? The fraudulent transaction could happen by any person to gain unfair advantage over another person. And this could happen either at the individual level or at the corporate level, where one person is offering a false statement or misrepresentation of something that will cause the victim to do a wrong decision, which will affect him by making injury to him or loss to his investment and so on. And on the other side, the person who made the wrong representation should have intent to deceive the victim. Otherwise, we might call it error. And in this chapter, I'm not going to talk about all the frauds, but we will talk about the computer fraud. And here the fraud will happen if three elements exist together at one time: pressure at personal level or corporate level, opportunity at personal level or also corporate level, and rationalization at both levels. We as auditors, we cannot control the pressure or the rationalization because this is in the minds of the individuals or the corporation. But what we can do is reduce the opportunity for the fraud to make it to a zero or a very minimal opportunity for committing the fraud. Because we know if the three elements exist, then the fraud will happen. And in this chapter, we will talk about computer fraud. If a computer is used to commit fraud, we call it computer fraud. And the fraud should happen at any stage, whether input or process or output or storage and so on. And we are exposed to this kind of computer fraud on a daily basis. And as you can see here, we have three main categories of different attacks or computer fraud: hacking, social engineering, and malware. In hacking, we see unauthorized access to gain some information from us. For example, hijacking and botnet, which is the robotic network. And we will talk about these examples in detail in the coming slides. The second type is social engineering, where techniques or tricks could happen to gain physical or logical access to confidential information. Good example is identity theft, pretexting, posing, phishing, farming, and so on. The examples are so many, and every day we just get exposed to new types of hacking, social engineering, and malware. The malware like virus, worm, ransomware, Trojan horse, spyware, and so on. And we need to understand how the attacks are happening so we can defend it at the beginning and try to protect our system from attack. The hacking could happen in two different ways: either hijacking by gaining control of the computer, or botnet like sending spamming, spoofing, bot herders, denial of service, zombies, and so on. And the most popular one among all of this is spoofing, because we see different examples of spoofing that could happen to us on a daily basis, like getting wrong emails, caller ID spoofing, asking for the IP address, address resolution spoofing, SMS spoofing, web page spoofing, DNS spoofing. And here where you feel there is a person who's trustworthy, trying to help you by asking, for your phone number or your ID or IP and so on. And then by the time you give him, then you are exposed to give your confidential information to that person. There is other types of hacking like man in the middle, which is on the transformation of the data. A person can stand between the client and the server, trying to read, modify, and steal the data. And as you can see on the screen, there are many types of hacking that if you need more details, you can either read the textbook or you go to the internet to explore how the techniques happen and how to prevent yourself from the hacking. Hacking could happen also for the embezzlement, like taking a small amount of money from the account of a person, or by stealing the trading secret, and this one we call it economic espionage, or by sending threat emails to the person asking for ransom to protect him, and this one we call it cyber extortion. So we have different types of hacking for embezzlement. Hacking also could happen for fraud like internet misinformation or email threats or internet auction, internet pump and dump, click fraud, web cramming, software piracy. And as I said, the examples are so many that you can get them on the internet or public resources. And it's on your fingerprint. Once you go to the internet, you see lots of articles have been written and lots of cases have been exposed because of fraud. On the other hand, the social engineering technique, which is trying to steal your identity or your confidential information by identity theft or pretexting or posing, phishing, farming, URL hijacking, scavenging, shoulder surfing, skimming, and eavesdropping. And as I said, these have been here explained properly. I'm just trying to brief you about the new techniques, and then you can explore it later at your own ease time to understand how techniques are designed and how to protect yourself. The last one is the types of malware, like as I said earlier, spyware, ransomware, keylogger, Trojan horse, trapdoor, packet sniffer, virus, and more. And now we reach to a point which is why people default victim. Because we can be one of the victims if we have, like compassion, for example, we want to help others. So the moment we see this wrong email coming to us, we try to answer in an attitude of helping. But this can make us victim because once we click on the URL we receive, then we expose ourselves to different types of hacking. Other thing, greed. For example, if somebody is asking, for help for a reason of giving us some money, this actually might put us in traps. Or being interested in different gender, or lazy habits by clicking on whatever we see on the email, or trust if we feel that this person is trustworthy, or urgency if a person is in a crisis and he needs our help, or more cooperation when appeal to vanity. So please go through all the examples that we mentioned in more details in the textbook. If you need more help or explanation, please let me know, and I hope you will do well in the homework this week. Thank you so much, and I wish you a very fruitful week of reading and discussion and learning how to do hacking and how to protect yourself from hacking. Thank you. Bye-bye.